Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633, and today we're taking a look at the Star Wars The Force Awakens Resistance X-Wing Fighter. Now this is a version that was seen earlier in the film, and it's actually seen, if I remember correctly, later in the film as well, used by Poe Dameron. Now, Poe Dameron eventually used the orange version, which are more familiar than the ones seen from the initial screenshots and various other promotional materials, and included in the trailers as well. However, this is the version that was seen in the opening part of the film. This version of the X-Wing fighter is a Walmart exclusive, so it is a bit unfortunate that the better looking X-Wing and just the overall build of the X-Wing was only in the Walmart version, while the main retail version had a lot of problems with warping plastic and various other problems that made the release not worth it. This version of the X-Wing is still a $50 price point, so it's a bit pricey for what it is, especially since it's not as good as the previous X-Wing as other people have said. For I still like this X-Wing for what it does, and it does work as a pretty nice display piece. The one thing I do not like about this is that the included figure, which we'll get to in a minute, does not really fit very well in this version of the X-Wing. However, the Poe Dameron, at least in the regular 5 points articulation build-a-weapon series, does fit in quite well compared to the other figures. I've already tried putting in Asti, and I've also tried putting in Snap Wexley. However, they really didn't fit very well inside this version of the vehicle. Anyways, before we go on to the figure, we'll now go on to the box. The box has got a really nice design of the Force Awakens Resistance X-Wing, and I just think they did a very nice job once again with the overall design of the box. On the back it just shows pretty much all just the features. It has the opening X-foils and various other things that you expect from an X-Wing, and it does have a firing missile. However, I will not fire it in camera since it will cause it to get lost very easily. Now, we're going to take a look at the vehicle. The vehicle does have a feature, does feature a openable cockpit, and it's pretty cool. And it does have a BB-8 molded in, which pretty much has one point of articulation, which is just turning, but that's pretty much it. Inside the vehicle, there are some stickers that you need to apply, and these are the only stickers that you need to apply on the vehicle itself. And unfortunately, mine does have some warping issues already, since the stickers are a bit hard to actually apply inside. Now, we'll take a look at the Poe Dameron figure, which has the standard 5 points of articulation, but unlike the version of the Poe Dameron that was released in the Armor Up series, the helmet is not removable, so you're pretty much just going to get a Poe Dameron with the banana visor once again with his helmet. It's unfortunate since the original orange X-Wing featured a Poe Dameron in his pilot outfit, which actually had a removable helmet, so it's been unfortunate that we did not have that here. His legs can move as normal, and that's pretty much it, what you're going to get from there. To put the figure in, all you need to do is open the cockpit as normal, and we're actually going to remove the gun so that it won't get in the way. Just going to put him into sitting position, and we're going to open up right here and put him inside, which you kind of need to fiddle around with it in order to get into place, which is kind of annoying, but it does work eventually. As you can see, it did slide in pretty decently. You need to kind of push him in just a little bit further in order to get him into place so that the cockpit can fully close. So now here we have him completely inside the X-Wing, which I guess he looks okay, but he does look a bit crimped inside there. This version of the vehicle also features a landing gear, so that's good that they at least managed to put the landing gear feature on. And to activate the opening X-foils, similar to other versions of the X-Wing which featured R2-D2, what you're going to do is push down BB-8, and the X-foils will open. Now this is the main reason why I got this X-Wing, since as I mentioned in my other video, my older version of the X-Wing does not have a fully functional X-foil feature, and unfortunately over time when I tried to repair it, it ended up breaking the mechanism altogether, so now it's just holding it by gravity, which is really annoying. But it's still cool to actually have a fully functioning X-Wing now, even if it's not the original design. It does look really nice even in flight mode, and yeah, it is a bit on the smaller scale, but it does work for what it needs to do. To close it, all you need to do is pull the lever on the back here, and it will lock the X-foils back to position. And then you're going to pull down the landing gear once again. Now, as I mentioned, this piece is of a rubbery material. However, what I could tell, this one stays a lot better in place, unlike the orange version. Fortunately, since it is made of the rubbery material, it doesn't have a way to fully lock in. However, even if you shake it, it will not fall out. So that's at least good that it does stay in place. We're going to open up the cockpit and take out the Poe Dameron figure. So that we're going to try to see how it looks like with the standard Poe Dameron in his pilot gear, which I have from the standard build a weapon wave. We're just going to put Poe Dameron to the side and take out Poe Dameron here. Put him into sitting position, and just going to slide him in. As you can see already, it was a lot easier to put in, and it's just overall fit much better than the other releases that I've seen. So there we go. Now we got the pilot version of Poe Dameron inside the cockpit, and it actually works really nicely, and I think I'm just going to display it like this on my shelf. So overall, I still think this is a really nice version of the X-Wing, and I know it's definitely not in scale by any means. I can understand that the $50 price point is pretty bad for this version of the vehicle. However, I did manage to get this on a secondary seller on eBay for a lot cheaper, since I do not have a Walmart in my area to really have access to find this in the first place, so I kind of had no choice. Just to show a comparison, we have the previously reviewed TIE Fighter, which I'm just going to put into camera here. Here's the TIE Fighter. And overall, I don't think the scale is the worst. It's pretty decent for what it is. And I think it works really nicely for what it needs to do. So we're just going to take TIE Fighter off camera. And now we're just going to go to final thoughts. Now the X-Wing obviously is definitely not the best in any means of any X-Wing release. However, it still really looks nice on the shelf, and in my opinion at the moment is one of the best versions of the X-Wing we got in the market. Obviously there are other scale versions, but not for the 3 1/4 scale for figures, so it's a bit unfortunate that this just ended up coming for what it is. Obviously it could have been a lot better, but due to limitations of budget or whatever reason that Hasbro and Disney decided to make it as this, we're just going to leave it at that. So if you just want an X-Wing on display and just kind of like something that's just fun to play around with, then this is definitely the X-Wing to get. However, otherwise, if you have other versions of the X-Wing and want something that's a little bit more, kind of more of a display reasons, then this is kind of something that is easily skippable. So, other than that, I still think this is a pretty decent X-Wing, just definitely not at the $50 retail price. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hirotaku. Also, please check down the other channels down below. And please check me on Twitter under Darkon633. And I'll be back to bring more Star Wars reviews. But for now, I'll be seeing you YouTube. Bye.